Anybody see Richie?
Fuck you. Fuck you, huh?
Yipee-Ki-Yay, Mr. Falk.
So I was doing that thing that I do. I've been having a lot of luck with Amazon Prime lately, finding just random movies and shit.
Okay.
Horror movies, for one, but just random things I'm coming across. And I found
what did you watch?
I found something surprisingly decent. It's a trucker movie, right? It's a movie about a truck driver, but
Trucker movie.
yeah, it's from 1981. All right, so it's pretty old, and it was made in Australia with like 2 American leads. It's called Road Games.
Road Games?
Road Games, yeah. And the lead, the dude, the truck driver, his name's Pat Quid. He's played by Stacy Keach. Do you know who that is?
No idea.
All right. You remember American History X?
Of course.
Do you remember the white supremacist leader, the older dude?
Yeah, the only one with hair.
Yeah, and he has a hair lip, right?
Yes. Yeah, I can kind of picture him. Yeah, he was just older than everybody else.
Yeah, that is Stacy Keach. If you look up his filmography, he's one of those guys. He's been in hundreds of movies. Like his actor credits on IMDb to 219. All right.
Wow.
And he's been in shit up to this year. He's that Blue Blood show that Tom Selleck does
it's a cop show.
I've never seen an episode of it, but I know my folks used to watch it, and it's been on for like 14 years. I think it's just going off the air, actually, but he did like 11 episodes of that. Like, he's still acting.
Jeez.
Yeah, you look at his filmography, it's wild. He basically was just like a B-list movies for his entire career, but a whole lot of them. A lot of TV movies, a lot of TV show episodes, and a lot of just movies you never heard of. And but it's a full career, and I always like him when I see him. So fuck it, I'll give this movie a shot. And Jamie Lee Curtis was in it.
Only person I know that would recognize and be like, "Hey, that's Stacy Keach."
Well, he's distinctive. You have character actors that you remember, and I don't.
Right. But that's a deep cut one. Jamie Lee Curtis is in it?
Yeah, and it's 1981. She is like super young. She's like basically Halloween young. Not quite.
Still
close.
reeling from Michael Myers.
Yeah, it must have been, I guess, right after they made the second one. I think that was 80. So, no, it was really neat. It's like a serial killer mystery kind of, but there's a little there's a little artistry to it. There's some cool dream sequences, and him as a truck driver, he hasn't slept in a while, so he gets a little punchy and starts seeing shit after a while. That looks pretty cool. And
it's like hallucinating.
Yeah, and like at one point, it kind of makes you wonder if he's actually like the killer and he's kind of losing his mind or not. And the ending is pretty solid. There's a lot of tension. It's really way, way better than I even hoped to expect. And then I look in the trivia section for it, and it says something like it's Quentin Tarantino's favorite Australian movie.
Of course it is.
And then apparently it was part of something called Ozploitation.
like Aussie?
Yeah, like Oz. Yeah. And I don't know. I guess it was when a bunch of movies were set in Australia. I don't know what I don't really.
Exploitation.
Yeah. I know Australian shit was popular when we were little for a while, like with Crocodile Dundee and
Quigley Down Under.
And Outback Steakhouse started opening around here, and
yeah,
there was some.
I remember
people were into Australia.
There was a movie that I wasn't a lot. Not that I wanted to watch it, but I saw a commercial for this movie called Priscilla, Queen of the Desert.
Huh.
And my dad was like, absolutely not, because he knew all about it. That's got Hugo Weaving playing like a drag queen.
Does not ring a bell at all. Is it old? It's old.
It's from the Hey, it's old.
Huh.
I just know it's bizarre. It's a very weird movie.
There's a lot of weird shit coming out of Australia, man. And the Mad Max movies too. When we were little, there was a lot of Australian shit.
Mad Max was huge.
I mean, Mel Gibson. You know, Mel Gibson's actually American.
Is he?
Yeah, he was born here, but he grew up in Australia, and that's why he got the accent. But he's actually American.
Huh.
Yeah, I was surprised too. I always thought he was just native Australian, all Hugh Jackman'd up. Well, anyway,
I heard a crazy piece of trivia. Mel Gibson and Russell Crowe, two prominent Aussie actors, they both have bands, right?
You mean they're like banned from somewhere?
Probably.
Oh, bands like
they're both in a band.
Yeah,
and
they're in shitty rock bands, right? Yeah.
Yeah. And Mel Gibson plays a guitar called the guitar he plays is a crow, and oddly enough, Russell Crowe plays a Gibson.
Wait, I didn't know there was a guitar brand called Crow.
Me neither. It's like, I mean, Gibson's huge, but there's like a zillion guitar brands out there. Like,
That's funny. Last time I was in Asbury Park, Russell Crowe's band was on the marquee at the Stone, not at the Stone Pony, but a different venue. His band is called like something like Indoor Porch or some shit, or Indoor Garden. I don't know. It's something goofy. I looked it up, and it's him. I'm like, wow, that's lame. Asbury's going downhill. No, I'm sorry. I love you, Asbury. Road Games. No, check it out, man.
Games.
And it got me thinking, like, it felt so natural to be watching a movie about a trucker, and it was a trucker with a dog, which I don't know.
So you automatically love the guy.
Yeah, and it was a cattle dog too, an Australian cattle dog.
Oh, awesome.
Yeah, it was fantastic. It was very much like Mad Max's dog, honestly. Might have been the same fucking, I don't know. But there's been a lot of movies about truckers. Like, I think it's a pretty easy fit for a little bit of drama, and it's definitely an atypical lifestyle that you could wrap stories around, right?
Yeah. You mention it, and like a couple come to mind. I can think of make three off the top of my head, but you said you found a bunch.
Yeah, but your favorite movie of all time is about a truck driver, right?
Oh, yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Big Trouble in Little China, right?
Absolutely, man. It's a guy trying to find his truck. Jack Burton, me.
So, did you ever see the other trucker movie that Kurt Russell was in?
No, he did another trucker movie.
Kind of, yeah. He's not the trucker, and he's the protagonist, but he's not a badass. It's called Breakdown.
Oh, I've seen Breakdown
from like '97. Yeah,
that's a good movie.
It's a damn good movie. That's a really good movie. The trucker is a bad guy in that, played by the incomparable and I believe late J.T. Walsh.
Yep. I think I know who J.T. Walsh is.
Oh, you know,
I can picture him.
He's played about 1 million scumbag lawyers, politicians. Like, he's got that scumbag white guy face, like that white collar.
He was in The Negotiator.
Yeah, he was the scumbag in that. Exactly, the one tied to the chair the whole time.
Yep.
Yeah. He was in it. Rex Lynn is in it. He's excellent.
I know Rex Lynn. He's from Cliffhanger.
Yeah, another Cliffhanger. All roads go back to Cliffhanger, man. And MC Gainey, he got a little popular later on. He was on Justified for a good season, at least. And he was a character actor when he was young. It's a great movie. Kathleen Quinlan is Kurt Russell's wife in that he has to find, right? She gets kidnapped, I think.
Yeah, man, they take her.
Yeah, it's good. It's good.
It's not good.
And Kurt Russell's very much an everyman in that. Like, he's terrified most of the time, but he still goes after his wife and fucks their shit up. So
yeah, man, you gotta.
I really like the tone of it. That was an excellent one. But yeah, there's been a lot. Like, you know, when we were younger, I remember, I don't know, did you ever see Smokey and the Bandit? Any of them? I know.
I saw the first one when I was a kid, but I just had no clue what I was watching.
First one's the only one worth really watching. They were on some streaming service not too long ago. My wife and I had seen the first one together for the first time, really all the way through, and we liked it. It was funny. I mean, it's very goofy and dumb. It's a comedy. But the other ones, I watched the other ones on my own, and they're really bad. Like, they're really... The second one at least has Burt Reynolds in it. But he's... I don't know. It's just so dumb that you can't
It was the 70s, man.
Yeah. Yeah, the beginning of it's kind of funny when he's all, like, hopelessly drunk in some shitty motel room with a weight set. I don't know. Time capsule movies, man. Did you ever see Joyride?
Joyride.
All right,
I've heard of this. Why can't I don't know. Maybe
it's got Steve Zahn and Paul Walker and Lily Sobieski. I love saying that name.
Lily Sobieski.
Lily Sobieski. Yeah, and it's about.
I don't think I've seen it.
It's about these two brothers who are driving, I think, cross country. I think the one brother's coming home from college, and he picks up his other brother who just got out of prison. And they're driving this shitty old car, and the older brother is kind of a miscreant. Steve Zahn, you know, he's a funny guy. So he buys a CB radio at this garage that they stop at, installs it in the car. And they end up talking to this truck driver on the road.
Do they piss him off?
Yeah, like Paul Walker pretends to be a girl trucker named Candy Cane, and the driver they're talking to is what's his name from Silence of the Lambs, dude.
Ted Levine.
Ted Levine. Yeah, you never see him. He's just the voice.
And what a voice!
But it's absolutely it's so funny to listen to him.
Would you have me?
He's her Candy Cane. Candy Cane, you out there?
Yeah, Candy Cane. What's your 20?
That's it. It's just like through the whole fucking movie. It's fantastic. So he like flirts with him and gets him to meet him at this hotel room that they end up staying in. They're staying at the hotel, and the room is occupied by this jerk off businessman who's just happened to be in that room that they picked. And the truck driver shows up with a bottle of pink wine, like he was instructed to, makes an ass of himself, and in a fury rips the guy's jaw off. Off. Like, you see him in the hospital later. It's brutal. And then he ends up stalking the two brothers on the road in his giant big rig. And and hilarity ensues.
That sounds insane.
It's excellent. It's an excellent little road trip horror movie. It's a little unconventional and weird. And
a road trip horror movie.
Yeah, dude. If you haven't seen it in a while, it's usually
like The Hitcher.
Yeah, it's not quite. It's a different mood, but
right.
But yeah, it's the same kind of desolate part of the country. Not much around. It feels more like middle of the country than Texas. I just watched that too. That's not about truckers, but that's about the road, The Hitcher.
Oh yeah, you did. You told me you watched that.
I got it on disc again. I lent that to somebody, a buddy of mine, Josh, who just got married. Congratulations, Josh, who stole my movie. No, I don't care.
Welcome to the club.
It's a shame. That movie was a HBO movie. Did you know that? It's like
Which one?
The Hitcher.
Joyride or
The Hitcher.
Oh, The Hitcher?
Yeah, that was one of the earliest HBO movies. And you can only get it on DVD.
Really?
Yeah, I think they did a limited run for it on Blu-ray. And it's supposed to be a 4K coming out, I think. But all I could find was I could only find it on DVD, but I bought it anyway just to have it. And I watched it.
Let me ask you a question.
What?
I don't know you'll know the answer to this, but who is the one that gets to make the decision about which movies get 4K transfers? Because there's obvious ones like classics that you that will automatically make that list. But
Yeah.
like The Hitcher, right, is kind of a deep cut. Like you say, it was the first HBO movie. You know, like
I don't know if it was the first.
who's
It was one of the first, but yeah.
who's the one that decides?
I think
Who's the one that decides
it's-
that gets upgraded to 4K?
I think it depends on who owns certain rights to the movie, and I don't know what set of rights it is. Like for certain movie, I know for Alien, the first two Alien movies, I don't think Ridley Scott was involved at all in the transfer of Alien.
Well,
But James Cameron was heavily involved in the transfer of Aliens, and people hate it. And like he's
Why do
always
they hate it?
because they used AI to upgrade it, and it made things all smeary and it's
Well,
awful.
That's kind of not my question, though. Like those movies they're classics. They're bound to get
Yeah.
4Ks, right? But like the Hitcher, right? The Hitcher is not generally thought of this movie that you think of.
It's
as
a cult
being-
favorite. It has that standard now, and it did get a remake. Like it was
Yeah.
big enough to get a shitty, horrible remake.
I actually saw that one.
It was bad.
That's the one with Sean Bean.
Sean Bean and I believe the younger Busey, the Jake Busey.
So like what? Well,
Oh no, he
Like
was in the sequel.
Gone-
They made a second
like-
one.
Gone Fishing, starring Joe Pesci and Danny Glover, is not going to get a 4K transfer anytime soon.
No, probably.
I just
think,
want to know
it's
where
a
the
mix-
line is.
It's a mix of if it's is it an art house classic type of movie that may not move a lot of units, but it needs a 4K transfer, almost like for posterity. Sometimes they'll do it, like Criterion movies are slowly all getting 4Ks. I think other than that, it's really a mix of who owns the rights and if they think they're going to be able to sell it. You know, because the market's changing too. Everything's getting weird. No stores are carrying discs anymore.
Oh yeah.
I think Targets are getting rid of all of their Blu-ray and 4K sections now. So that's not even around. So the only place to get them is online, which means they kind of print them in batches, I think. You know, and as they sell, it's almost like a printed demand thing in lots. So they don't have a huge overhead and a bunch of remainders. You know, so I think they're all trying to figure it out. And like right now, it's a mix of reissuing classics that everybody, like there's certain movies that people just buy every time it comes out in a new format.
Yeah, like Jaws or The Godfather or something.
Or Alien, or like a lot of the ones we've already seen because they're really tapping into it. And like, look, Alien Romulus is just going to come out on streaming in a bit, and it comes out in December on 4K. You think after that comes out, there's not going to be yet another Alien set with all of the films in 4K? Because right now, all they have to do is transfer that awful Alien Resurrection, which won't be hard, and then the whole set will be in 4K.
I have the quadrology
Right.
set, and then like Prometheus came out, Covenant came out, and now Romulus. So now, like, what is it's a septology?
Is that
now?
what that? Yeah, I guess so. And they'll
So,
probably
but they'll
call
make
it
it.
that to be jerk offs. They'll call it that.
The alien septology.
Man, I thought it was so baller when I remember getting the VHS set of Alien, Aliens, and Alien 3 from Sam's. When we were kids, Sam's had an amazing physical media section.
They really did.
But it was kind of like a Ross, you know, Dress for Less at Ross, because it was just piled. I remember it being on these huge tables in the middle of like this giant aisle, and there would be hardcover books piled like 25 high. You know, when a Stephen King
Like
book
they got a
came out.
pallet of them.
Yeah, when Michael Crichton or Stephen King or any of those guys put out a book, huge piles of them everywhere. And the same thing with movies on VHS and then DVD. And then box sets was the big deal that you saw at Sam's.
Yeah.
Like there'd be box sets. If you saw it in the mall at Suncoast, it'd be like $200 and it'd be like $50 at Sam's. It was a huge difference. We got Rocky like that, which was Rocky 1 through 5 at the time. And there was like an American flag flowing over the spine of every tape when it was in order. I loved it.
So they looked awesome on the shelf.
It looked awesome on the shelf and in my room, which is where they lived. And we got The Godfather, I think, which we talked about before because each movie was on 2 tapes. And so it was 6 tapes for 3 movies.
You needed 6 tapes.
6 tapes for the 3 Godfather movies. What else did we got? The Aliens, like I said. You didn't get a lot. Die Hard. We got the Die Hard set. I got the Die Hard set, which only went to Die Hard with a Vengeance at the time. There were only 3. Wow. They really never should have made any more. Fuck.
Yeah.
No,
That was a good place to stop.
That was Christmas, man. People don't we talk about it much, but in the era of physical media, box sets were the Christmas gift, the safe Christmas gift to get someone. Music, movies, like it was very appreciated because it was like a solid, $40, $50 gift usually. And it was something you probably weren't going to buy for yourself. But hey, now I have every song Aaron Neville ever put out. Like, that's amazing.
Aaron Neville.
Because you'd see him at Christmas, they'd come out with these huge, 5 CD box sets of like the most milquetoast vanilla artists. Because you were buying them for like your mom and your aunt and shit, who had the easy listening channel on in their car all the time. Sam's Club, Sam's Wholesale Club, everyone. Sam's.
Oh, Sam's was great. All right, but like
what?
Trucker
movies. Well, there's the obligatory Over the Top. You got to talk about Over the Top.
Yeah, Over the Top was one of the ones that came to mind when you mentioned this to me. And yeah, man, I'm a truck driver,
Threw my hat around, it was like a switch. That was 87. You believe that? Holy shit. Did you watch that as a kid, or was that another one that you didn't see until you were an adult?
Over the Top, I saw as a kid.
Thank God, because it's terrible if you see it the first time as an adult, I think. You got to have some kind of a nostalgia attached to that corny movie.
There's too much of the time happening in that movie for you to like watch it now and take it seriously.
The soundtrack too is so fucking just of the era. It's so, but like cheap. It's so cheesy. I love the cheese. It's good cheese. I like the cheese. All right.
Yeah, I'm into it.
What else do you think of? You any more?
Off the top, when you say this, off the top of my head, I'm thinking Big Trouble in Little China, which I don't even want to talk about now because we have another topic. Like I'm saving that for its own episode. But yeah, over the top, and like that's it. I mean, the only thing I can think of where you spend a lot of time in a truck, but it's not a trucker movie, is like Mad Max, like Fury Road, which is awesome, but
I guess that's a truck. But you're not trucking.
It's not a trucker movie. That's like a murder truck.
Yeah,
different occupation.
The only other ones I really thought of was Space Truckers, which I never really liked very much.
Space Trucker?
Yeah, you never seen that?
No.
Yeah, that's an oldie. It's from 96, I think. It's just a goofy sci-fi movie. It's kind of fun. You might actually like it a lot, to think of it.
Are they in spaceships?
Yeah. Yeah.
Huh.
They're just literally space truckers. I haven't seen it in years. I honestly don't know what I think of it. I think Maximum Overdrive, because that, wasn't about truckers, but it had a big truck in it that killed people.
Maximum Overdrive.
But there's also a gem from the 90s. Patrick Swayze. All right. Black Dog.
Okay. Black Dog?
Black Dog. 1998. But not just Patrick Swayze.
I've heard of this movie.
Yeah, you have. Also, Meatloaf. You know what I'm saying? Meatloaf is the bad guy in this.
Meatloaf is the bad guy?
He's the bad guy. And Randy Travis. And his fucking smile.
Who's Randy Travis?
The guy who was the country singer, and then he started acting and always plays a fucking redneck or something.
I can't picture him.
You've seen him.
You're saying Randy Travis, and I'm picturing Travis Tritt, and I know it's not
No,
the same
that's
person.
not him. That's not him. Steve Tobolowsky is in this.
Steve Tobolowsky?
Steve Tobolowsky, man. Come on.
Oh, I know who Randy Travis is.
Yeah.
He's always playing some like scummy FBI agent.
Yeah, often. Yes. Steve Tobolowsky is the guy from Groundhog's Day. Ned, Needle-Nosed Ned, Ned the Head.
Oh, Ned Ryerson?
Ned Ryerson? That's him. You got to see Black
All
Dog,
right.
man. It's
Black Dog.
about a guy who used to be the best. He was like Smokey. Like, okay, he's like Smokey and the Bandit. He's like the Bandit, but serious in real life. And he's like a smuggler trucker. But he ran afoul of the law. Smuggle trucker. He ran afoul of the law and got like pinched and can't. They took away his CDL. He can't drive. All right, and he just gets out of prison. He's got no fucking money. He's got a family, and he gets approached by these dudes to drive a truck from Atlanta to Jersey. And they won't tell him what's in it, but he just knows he can't get pulled over and he can't get caught. And as he gets on the road, all kinds of people try to hijack his shit. And he's got to do like
because they know what's in it.
I think the whole truck is full of guns, if I remember right. Possibly also drugs. It's like everything you don't want to drive.
Bad guy contraband.
Yeah, so he puts on his fingerless gloves and just fucking drives the shit out of this truck. And hilarity ensues. Now, I remember it being really fun, actually. I like Patrick Swayze movies, and I think he was a little older in this. He didn't do many movies in the late 90s because he was getting sick. But this was like one of the last movies he did where he was, the lead. And it's totally worth a watch if you've never seen it. I really thought you had seen that.
I was aware of it. I've never seen it. And it's funny. You say Patrick Swayze movies, and immediately I have this knee-jerk reaction of like, oh yeah, Patrick Swayze's cheesy, but he was in some of my favorite shit when I was younger.
Very much in my mind growing up in movies.
Roadhouse was awesome.
Roadhouse, Point Break.
Point Break was
huge.
Awesome.
Just that alone. I've seen it so many times. I know his face and everything from that. What?
He's in that I loved when I got into like a little bit older and started to get like, all brooding and dour about things. He's in Donnie Darko.
Oh yeah, I always forget he's in that.
When I was in my angsty phase.
That's an excellent movie, actually.
It's a great movie.
The director's cut of that is much better. Believe it or not, I was surprised.
Timmy, that's just fear talking.
Ghost is much darker
great.
than you would think. I like it. I like it a lot. Every once in a while, I'll watch it usually with the wife, but not all the time.
Right.
And that leads me to something that I discovered that really upset me.
About
the bad
trucker
guy.
Movies?
No, about Ghost, sort of. The bad guy in that, his friend who actually had him killed and shit.
Yeah, I forget who it is, but I remember the plot.
Who he is Tony Goldwyn. That is that actor's name. Now,
okay,
the older brother from Legends of the Fall. You know Legends of the Fall, right?
Of course.
The oldest brother in that's Aidan Quinn. It was only till recently I realized these were two separate human beings. For many, many years, I thought they were both in all of each other's roles. And I did not know about Tony Goldwyn. I thought they were all Aidan Quinn. I thought he was a prolific actor. Turns out he was only in like half the shit.
This guy does a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he only does half the shit that I thought he did. And I'm crestfallen. I don't know which.
Crestfallen.
I thought I was an Aidan Quinn fan. Now I don't know. I might just be a Tony Goldwyn fan in a whore's costume.
I could see how that would be disappointing.
Yeah.
While we're talking, I pulled up a picture
Of what?
Tony Goldwyn.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Aiden Quinn.
Yeah.
They don't look anything
They don't
alike
look
to
nothing
me.
alike, huh?
No.
When they were younger, they did. See, that's the fucked up thing too. Now I realize you know how old I am? I'm this fucking old. I can't look at the cast list on IMDb on my phone of anything made in the 80s and 90s and find anyone without looking at names because they all look ancient and not like anything I remember them looking like.
Oh, yeah, like the headshot.
Yeah, I can't scan through and pick out an actor because they're
an
all
updated
gray
photo.
with beards and usually wearing a hat because they're bald. And I'm like, I have to look at the names. I'm like, no fucking way. And then you got to click on the actor and look at their face, and you're like, fuck. It's like when you play Spotify on your TV. If you don't put it in dark mode, it shows like a generic picture of the band, but it's the most recent picture. It's the most recent picture. You can't listen to the Rolling Stones because they show fucking just a collection of mummies in weird clothes every time you do. It's not right, and you feel weird.
Or if you're like stuck in the 90s, like I am, it's just a bunch of dads standing around.
Oh, dad bods, bro. Just standing around without kids, it looks weird. No, I can't. Dark mode. You got to dark mode it.
I don't think I always have things in dark mode, so I didn't even know about this option.
The TV thing on mine defaults, and I hate it. I hate everything. I hate technology, and it's all broken. I buy DVDs. You know what I bought this week? Here, everyone. You want to know what the fuck I bought on disc, hard copies? I bought every single episode and TV movie of Columbo.
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 I mean, I enjoyed Columbo when it was on. One more thing.
Yeah, it's great. I love the shtick. I love some of the plots are really
seasons?
fun. There's 7, actually, and then 24 movies. Because instead of instead of doing like a show, they would do these 1.5-hour, 2-hour long movies, and they would show them like once a month as like a special. But they would do like 12 or 10 in a year. So there's like 24 of them but then they started spreading them out as he got older. But the last one is from 2003.
What?
Yeah. Can you believe it?
Dude, Columbo was on and new when I was a kid.
The show started in the 70s and basically was on TV in some way until 2003.
That's insane.
I know. I couldn't believe it. And it was like $30, dude.
What's that guy? Peter Falk?
Peter
Falk?
Yeah, he had a glass eye. You know that?
No.
Yeah, he had a glass eye.
That's why he was so squinty?
That's why he had that detective squint. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, just one more thing.
The structure of that show, they don't do that anymore at all. Like, there's a term for it, and I don't remember it, but the audience knows who the killer is from the beginning, and they have to watch the detective figure it out. And the suspense is how he's going to get caught, not whether or not.
It's not a whodunit, it's a he-done it.
Yeah, it's a he-done-it, but
Or
it's also a
she-done-it.
detective story. Yeah, often it's a she-done-it. But it's like, how are they going to fuck up? Like, how did they... It's almost like, the Without a Trace shows, but...
I remember those.
Fiction. And, you're just wondering, like, what did they fuck up? What did they miss?
How's Columbo going to figure it out?
Yeah, and there's a lot of nifty plots. They're kind of cool. It's kind of cool to revisit that shit. And I got Night Gallery, which I haven't dug into.
Night Gallery.
That was the...
Rod Serling?
Yes, the thing he did after Twilight Zone.
Yeah, with the paintings. I remember that show.
Yeah, it wasn't on long. It was on like 2 full seasons, and then they put it on some, like, they switched it to like a half-hour shit format for an abbreviated 3rd season. But those first 2 seasons are supposed to be really good, and I've seen like bits and pieces, but now I'm going to get to watch them all. And I got Kolchak, the Night Stalker.
Oh, yeah, that's we were talking a few episodes back about The Natural.
Yeah.
And it's the dad from the Christmas Story. I think he was Kolchak.
Correct. You are correct,
Yeah.
sir. Yeah, that
Yeah,
show.
man. He had that pork pie hat on.
Yeah. He was a reporter. He was a newspaper.
Yeah.
It was a news service. I don't think it was a newspaper. It was like for a news service, and yeah, that's a hell of a. It's from 1974. It only ran for a season for 20 episodes, and then it got like again some kind of a cult following. I guess on tape. I have no idea how. Syndication probably, and yeah, what a title, Kolchak the Night Stalker.
Yeah, it conjures a much different image than what you actually get.
It's a weird blend, yeah, because he's like a frumpy reporter who's like street smart and a little sarcastic and lovable, right? And he ends up investigating like National Enquirer type stories, but they end up being real most of the time.
Yeah.
It's funny. It's like they were doing shit like that. Remember Dark Shadows was a soap opera with vampires and shit in it.
Oh, yeah. I remember Dark Shadows.
Yeah, Tim Burton made that movie. Did you ever see that, the Johnny Depp thing?
I avoided it.
Yeah,
my
it's not
sisters
terrible.
were obsessed with the original. They love that show. What's the guy's name?
Really?
Barnabas
Collins.
or something?
Barnabas
Yeah.
Collins, yeah.
They used to watch the reruns all the time. And then that movie came out, and they were furious.
Yeah, I bet.
They got so mad.
I bet. And my mom used to talk about her and her friends at work used to watch it back in the day. It was a big deal. It was a big deal for a little while. But yeah, they were doing shit like that. They were trying to mix genres and, you know, they tapped into horror for certain elements and it was neat. It's neat. It's like time capsules. I like watching that shit. Because on those lower budget shows, you see how people really used to dress and, you know, they weren't wearing high-end shit. It wasn't like the movies. And
It was whatever you could scrounge.
yeah, and you just whatever was in the costume departments, and it was just fun, simple stuff. Like the plots, you expect them to be simplistic and goofy, but you know, certain things look goofy and cheap, but the plots are pretty good sometimes. Oh, there's something nice about those just simple mysteries that are over in a little more than an hour too. The run times are weird compared to modern shit. I don't know. It's neat. I like it. We're not talking about truck driver movies anymore, but I don't care. That's all I had to talk about anyway. I had no more truck driver movies. That was it.
Oh, that was it? I thought you had a longer list.
No, dude, I have no more. That's all. It's not that deep of a sub. But
I mean, I didn't think it would be. You did that the same thing. You were like, "Oh, I found some caveman movies."
yeah, well, when I was 8. It felt like a lot when you watch them in a fucking row, man. I'll tell you that.
I love that you binge all this stuff in one shot.
There's one trucker movie that I found that I can't bring myself to watch because of the poster. It's called Convoy from '78.
God, is that the one with the song?
Probably. It stars Chris Christopherson, so I'm sure it has a song.
Yeah. So we busted through the gate going 98 and said, "Let them truckers roll."
That one.
Convoy.
Yeah. I mean, I guess I should probably see it someday, but it's actually kind of a great poster. It's one of those illustrated posters from the time. And he's like shirtless, all ripped and shit, in jeans, just chilling with his thumbs hooked in his belt, and there's like a chick hanging on him with really short hair. She looks all awesome. And there's trucks, and then trucks right in the foreground. It's beautiful. It's stunning. I kind of hate Chris Christopherson as an actor, though.
I mean,
R.I.P.
I haven't seen.
Oh,
I've
shit,
seen him.
this is a Sam Peckinpah movie? I had no idea.
Sam Peckinpah? Yeah.
Ernest Borgnine. Fucking, I think that's Paulie from Rocky.
My first 2 experiences were with Chris Christopherson were awesome. I saw him in Blade.
Okay, yeah, Blade.
Which was
He's
Whistler.
perfect for that. Yeah, that's a gimme.
Smells like a vampire wiped his ass with it. And then he was. Go ahead.
No. Go.
He was in Fire Down Below.
Oh my God, was he?
Yeah,
Was he the main bad guy?
Yeah, he's the main antagonist to Steven Seagal's EPA agent. I think I mentioned this to you. That movie plays exactly like Roadhouse. only it's like the same thing. He goes to this podunk town.
Yeah.
He gets put up in this barn apartment with
True.
like no running water. Only instead of cleaning up the bar, he's cleaning up the earth.
The earth and the oil and the earth.
Yeah, and
what happened to Steven Seagal was he made this string of movies that were all hits. Massive hits. It was this huge incline up to a peak. And at the tippy top of that peak was Under Siege. And then after that, he started producing his own movies.
Yeah.
And then
That's
you
where he
got
lost us.
Fire Down Below. And then you got, what was that other Earth Power one he did?
Oh, it took place in like the Arctic or something.
Something like that. You're going to make me look up Steven Seagal, and this is going to be in my algorithms. Oh, son of a bitch. Okay. It's for science algorithms. Don't fucking start serving me weird Russian propaganda.
It was like, it was one of those environmental.
Yeah, he did two of them right in a row, and they were both goddamn fucking horrible. And then he tried to do Under Siege 2, and that was not great. All right, where are we here? Oh no, it wasn't The Patriot. Holy Christ, that was horrifying too. Oh my God, there were so many bad ones we forgot. All right, so Under Siege was 92, okay? 94, he did On Deadly Ground.
That's the one.
He played, I love his character names, Jesus Christ. His name was Forrest Taft in this film. Then he did Under Siege 2, where he returned as Casey Ryback. Then, if you remember this one, he was in a movie with Kurt Russell. You remember Executive Decision?
I remember that. He's in it for like 5 minutes.
It was this big deal because he was a big star. He did a couple like shit movies, but he was still like considered a big star. And it was like, oh shit, Steven Seagal, Kurt Russell, and fucking, planes attaching to each other and badass shit. He dies in the first 15 minutes. He gets sucked out of the fucking plane.
Yeah.
His name was Lieutenant Colonel Austin Travis. All right.
Check this out.
Tell me.
97, he does Fire Down Below. He plays Jack Taggart.
Yeah.
And Chris Christopher's in it, but he's also got two supporting characters, in his rogues gallery of Southern bad guys. One is Randy Travis.
Oh shit! Again,
right? And okay. I can't believe this other person, Travis fucking Tritt, is
both are
movie.
in this film. Randy
Both
Travis, Travis Tritt.
Man.
And Steven Seagal playing Jack Taggart. My God. Yeah. And Chris Christopherson. Dude,
the last time I watched this movie, I was at an Airbnb in Virginia, and somebody had a copy of Under Siege on VHS, and I desperately wanted to watch it, but the VCR didn't work. And as a consolation, I was pissed. As a consolation prize, my sisters had a digital copy of Fire Down Below.
Of course they did.
We watched that instead.
Holy shit.
God.
There's something magical about a terrible Steven Seagal movie, especially if he runs. That's the best. We skipped over the jewel in this crown.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
The Glimmer Man next to I think the guy from In Living Color was in that.
Keenan Ivory Wayans.
Yeah, the big brother, the paterfamilias of the Wayans brothers. Holy shit, that movie was so bad. There's
I think I have some deer penis to clear up that bruise on your forehead.
I was just gonna say there's like bruise? 20 powdered deer penis jokes in that movie. It's a cornerstone of the film. Fucking powdered deer penis for everything. And then he ends up liking it and he's like all into it by the end of the movie, just rubbing it on his fucking gums. It was racist.
Incredible
as shit. Fuck. Man, he did that before Fire Down Below. Wow. Fucking A, dude. And then after that, I don't really remember anything that he did.
He did very strange after that.
I kind of remember the movie he did, The Patriot, in 98, where he played Dr. Wesley McLaren, because I think it was another environmental thing. And then after that, I don't know any of this shit. It's just shit.
He's a doctor?
Apparently, dude. But this is what let's give this jerk off his due. Let's go back to there's not much before Under Siege. It was a very sharp incline. But I call them the three-word movies. Every single movie he did that was a success has 3 words. Above the Law, Hard to Kill, Marked for Death, Out for Justice. Then he dropped to 2. Under Siege, it's fucked them all up. He tried to come back with On Deadly Ground. Didn't work.
Fire Down Below.
Under Siege 2, Dark Territory, too many words.
The Glimmer Man.
The Glimmer Man tried again, but the mojo was gone.
Which one is the one? There's this one line. He's yelling at somebody. He's like, "Hey, you see Richie? You see Richie? You tell him I'm gonna find out who killed Johnny Block." And it was like, it's burned in my brain because we watched it so many times.
Pretty sure that's his first movie, Above the Law, where he played Nico Toscani. They made him Italian in a lot of those early shits that he did for some reason. I don't know why.
I mean, he's clearly Native American and Mongolian.
Okay, Above the Law,
I think he's Italian.
Above the Law was like, it was one of those just heartless 90s action, like late 80s action movies. And what I mean by that was there was I don't know how to put it. There was a level of violence that was kind of casual and intense at the same time. Like it was. I guess they called it ultra violence, sort of, but it's different. I don't know. There was a callousness to it. In that era.
Like case in point, like he walks into a convenience store and sees a robbery in progress. He's like, "Okay, I'm going to give you guys a chance to walk away." He fucks them all up without breaking a sweat, and like in pretty gruesome ways. Like he'll break someone's arm or something, and then he'll like finish paying for his soda pop or whatever, and then leave. You know?
Yeah, but it's not, and like not even that though. But the innocent store clerk always gets killed. You know what I mean? Like he never really.
Oh, I see.
He doesn't often save. Like bystanders aren't often saved. Like the bad guys always get taken down, but it's always like as a response to them of like just wasting some innocent civilians. Like RoboCop had that kind of callousness to it, which was part of the whole shtick, but there was a lot of action movies that veered over into that. And it was almost like horror in a way.
Right. There was a body count.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember one of these early movies. He was like half a mobster. Like
Truck
this
driver?
is the one. This is the one. Out for Justice. This is the one that I remember because William Forsythe was the bad guy in this. We've talked about William Forsythe before.
Yeah.
He freaks me out as a bad guy, and
he plays it really well.
And I saw this movie when I was fairly young. This one came out in 91. All right, so could have seen it very young. Jerry Orbach is the other bad guy of all fucking people.
Jerry Orbach.
Yeah, he's like a mob boss. Yeah, who fakes his own death. It's a wild plot. But William Forsythe is...
Detective Lenny Briscoe?
Yeah, exactly. Forsythe plays this dude named Richie. So I think this is the movie you were talking about. This is the movie you were talking about. And he's a crack-smoking mobster, like, button man who has this little crew that hangs with him, but he's so cracked out that he's just a hair trigger violent mess and is just cutting a swath through the city, just murdering people all over the place. And there's this one scene where he smoked some crack with his dudes in his car.
As one does.
And he's like stopped at a light or something. It turns green. And this woman is like beeps and yells at him from behind. They're in New York, right? He gets out of the car. He grabs her by the hair, pulls her head out of the car window, and shoots her in the head.
Oh, God.
And then just gets back in the car and drives off. And then later, Steven Seagal and the other cops are all standing around talking about how like she was a mom of 3 and shit. And I was a child and saw that, and I remember it fucked me up a little bit. It scared the shit out of me. Like that casual wanton violence in a movie, and the good guy had no designs on. There was no way to say, like, you know.
How could you?
Yeah, it was just. It was pretty intense for something in the Steven Seagal movie, and it was because of William Forsythe. I maintained, like, the dialogue isn't even very good that they gave him to work with. It's actually kind of fucking hilarious in some spots, but the dude was so fucking committed, and so he's wearing these 90s suits the whole time, with no
like
tie.
A blazer with a t-shirt or something.
Yeah, kind of, and they're all baggy, but I remember he's just sweaty and has a mustache. Like, nobody had a mustache, just a mustache then. And it makes him look like so scummy, and he's got like this medium length hair, and it's kind of looks greasy and shit. Like, just, oh man, no, he's just repellent. He's so repellent. Like, the way he dies too at the end isn't even good enough. It needed to be worse. It needed to be worse.
Is he the one that gets his arm broken backwards?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
That was pretty gruesome.
There's the one where he breaks out the dude's teeth with the shotgun. You know who it was? I know who it was. The actor, the guy we keep talking about. I think it was Hard to Kill.
The actor we keep talking about.
The actor from all the Stephen King movies, and he was the bad guy in Solo, and he was in Shawshank, and...
Who was
William
he in Shawshank?
Sadler. William Sadler.
Oh, Will Sadler,
William Sadler, yeah. That's the movie. The one, Hard to Kill. Hard to Kill. That's the one with Kelly LeBrock. Remember from Weird Science?
Weird Science, yeah.
Yeah. She was the nurse.
He married her.
I know. She looks weird now, but who cares? This is one of the most hilarious Steven Seagal movies of all fucking time. Like, he starts off as a cop with a family, and he records some dudes doing some shady shit at a dock in the very beginning, in like the cold open, goes home to the wife and kids, and these dudes break into his house, shoot everybody. And his son gets out the window and runs off, right? He gets shot like a bunch of times. Flash forward, he is in a coma this whole time. And he has a beard, but someone has been shaving it into a goatee for him. So it's this huge, long caveman
Give him
beard.
a goatee.
Yeah. So I guess he had like an Asian feel to him of some kind, because he gets way into the meditation and shit in this. And he's all... He's atrophied because he's been in a coma for years, right? But somehow he's still able to pull himself and his entire hospital bed around with his hands and a stick, if I remember right. And to avoid further assassins who come after him in the hospital, just luckily he fucking wakes up from a years-long coma that day. Whoa. And Kelly LeBrock is the nurse who helps him escape and then becomes his, like, accomplice as he...
It's like Kill Bill in reverse.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. I just remember there's this wildly just goofy montage of him healing himself at this retreat that they go to. I don't know where the fuck they went to go hide. It's like a cabin or something. And it alternates between him punching this board and, like, doing... what's the fucking shit where you stick incense and needles and shit in your body? Acupuncture? Yeah, he does acupuncture to himself while he meditates. Yeah,
how
so
do you
he's
even
just
like reach all the spots?
I don't know. He's meditating, sitting there cross-legged with a bunch of shit sticking out of him, smoking, and they're playing songs, and he heals himself. And then he's a super ninja again, and he seeks revenge on everyone who killed his family.
It's like the opposite of a Rocky montage.
It's like the Punisher story. It's basically the Punisher story.
What, like the Dolph Lundgren Punisher?
I was thinking more the Thomas Jane one, where his entire extended family gets massacred at the beach.
Oh, God. We're not lucky. We're blessed.
Oh my god! I remember we were watching that together, and I think we might have been drinking a few beers. And Tom, that line came out, and Tom's just like, "Well, shit, that's why y'all died." She said that. You shouldn't have said that.
Yeah, that was it. She spoke it into existence.
Oh man, that was such overkill. Frank Castle did not need that much motivation.
I kind of want to watch that movie
The
soon.
Thomas Jane one?
Yeah.
Oh my god, it's so stupid.
Call it like a morbid curiosity.
I was with it until the Russian showed up, and it lost me.
Made you kill your wife. Made you kill your best friend.
Travolta is the bad guy, right? The main bad guy. And then
Sure is.
his henchman is that dude, that character actor I love from Mothman Prophecies.
Yeah, we've talked about this movie
Yeah,
before.
yeah, because there's that other line that he does that we love. All right,
You gonna kill me? No, I'm not gonna kill you. You're a miserable piece of shit, and I don't want the karma of your death on my soul.
That's it. I love it. I love it so much. Steven Seagal should have played the Punisher. He should have been the Punisher at some point. That would have been so bad.
Man.
That would have been so bad.
Or incredible.
Or incredible. Or incredible. Now I'm on IMDb and it's just running trailers for Steven Seagal movies. I'm watching a trailer for the one where he faces off against a Jamaican voodoo mob.
Have you seen the later ones?
No.
Where like he like fat suit Steven Seagal.
Meal Team
you seen
6. I've
Yeah,
seen,
I think there's one.
I've
He's
seen
in one
clips.
called like Cradle to the Grave, I think.
Yeah, that's one of them. Yeah.
Dude, those movies are hilarious because you'll see like him, waving his hands around doing his Aikido thing where like
he can barely
like
move.
He waves a hand and somehow someone flies across the screen. Then the camera pans out and you see someone wearing a ponytail and a fat suit do this like incredible spinning roundhouse kick. And then they just show Steven Seagal just like landing on the ground.
That's how they do the stand-in? You're kidding me.
They pan out. Someone does this incredibly athletic martial art technique, and then they just cut back to Steven Seagal like thudding back to the ground.
This is what we're going to have to do. Next time you're over, we're going to have to go through whatever Steven Seagal movies we can find that are either incredibly cheap to rent or free, and we're going to have to pick one based on the title, one of his latter works, and we're just going to have to go with it and see what happens. And it could be hilarious or it could just really hurt. A lot of these are made in the Philippines. So
yeah.
Maybe in Russia. I don't even know. Jesus.
Could be anywhere.
Steven Seagal, what happened to you, bruh? What happened? All right. Thank you very much.
Well,
Nope.
see you later.
Truckers. Drive-by truckers.
It's a good band.
Well, see you later. Big gulps, huh? Well. Yeah. All right, I'm going to stop.
Okay.